Welcome, everybody. Glad to see all those smiling faces on this rainy day. We're going to get right into inventory and market stats. Let's start with the market stats. So what I did was I compared, instead of 2020, which the statistics are going to be a little crazy now because we were in lockdown last year at this time. I'm comparing the statistics to 2019, which gives you a much better idea of how far off we are from a normal market. So on June 1st, there were 6,249 listings available in Nassau County. And June 1st this year, 3,585.
Wow.
So almost half. The other thing that's very interesting and certainly is affecting your pocketbooks, from January to May, in 2019, there were 11,378 transactions. In 2021, 6,710. So that's a big drop. And then the absorption rate in 2019 on June 1st was 4.8 months of inventory, the good old days. And now we're at 2.6 months of inventory in Nassau County. Actually, we're at 2.3 with the average 2.6 for the year. Plainview had 143 listings in 2019, has 74 this year. Their absorption rate was 4.2 in 2019, 1.7 in 2021. And all the towns go the same. Syosset had 150 listings in 2019 on June 1st, and now has 61 listings. The average price, I think, in Syosset is like 1.3 million. Kind of crazy. The absorption rate in Syosset is 1.7 months of inventory. Okay, so the winner this month is East Meadow. East Meadow had 119 listings on June 1st, 2019. And this June 1st, it had 40 listings and 51 sales.
Oh my God.
The absorption rate in East Meadow is 0.8 months of inventory. So the story hasn't changed. Anybody thinks the story's going to change before September? Anybody thinks the story's going to change by December?
I'm not sure.
I do. I think by then, yes, we will see some increased inventory. And here's something that I'm going to share with you that came out yesterday on CNBC. So the average interest rate for 30-year fixed rate mortgages, this is nationally, decreased to 3.17 from 3.18. But the Mortgage Bankers Association said applications for mortgage to purchase a home fell 3% and were 2% lower than the same week a year ago. Tight housing inventory, obstacles to a faster rate of new construction, and rapidly rising home prices continues to hold back purchase activity. High prices and low supply are finally taking some of the heat out of the housing market. Even with interest rates falling slightly, mortgage application volume fell 4% last week from the previous week. And that is a trend now. So we have Quentin on the line. That's the national. What does the local applications look like? Are they steady, declining, increasing?
They're about the same as the national. We don't see any difference. One insight into that is that mortgage applications are down by, I don't have the percentages in front of me because this was yesterday's data that I was looking at, but inventory is down way more than mortgage applications are down. So in reality, it's like, okay, let's say mortgage applications are down 3%, but inventory is down 25%. Then are we
more
really
than that?
Right.
Yeah.
So are we really down?
Well, we're down because the lack of inventory is a drag on the market.
Right.
And when you look at those statistics in Nassau County, 11,378 transactions in the first 5 months of 2019 and 6,710 in 2021. I just feel like probably we're at the point now where some buyers are actually getting discouraged and dropping out.
We also saw that cash buyers a year ago were 17%, and they're about 25% now. So
really,
yeah. So
that's just to win the bids, huh?
Exactly. So mortgage applications being down may or may not be actual buying down because there's more cash buyers, but some of those cash buyers get a mortgage later, and we don't know those statistics. They buy it cash, and then they finance the property because rates are low, after they own it.
Right.
So we're seeing things we haven't seen in the market before. That was never a trend before.
Right. Yeah. So that's a pretty good strategy. I printed the list of recent listings. Just give me a second to pull it off the printer. Okay, so we had some activity on the traditional side and a little activity on the REO side. John Kraft, are you on the call?
I am right here.
Okay, tell us about your listing at 319 Jefferson Street in Centerport.
Well, it's actually my family home. My first listing was through my parents, so I know everything that you could ever want to know about it. It's on the market for $650,000. And it has private beach and mooring rights at HPCA, which is, I believe, the largest private beach in Suffolk County, if not one of them. And it's a beautiful home. There's no lawn maintenance. The whole property is landscaped with ivy. It's not a very large property, but it's pretty cozy. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions about it?
Yeah, the taxes are confirmed at $10,500.
No, I sent an email to Linda. It's technically, I think it's $10,752 or something like that.
Okay.
Grieve the taxes, so they're relatively low, if I'm correct.
Now, is that the taxes without Star?
Without what?
Star.
I don't know 100%.
Okay, we'll need to confirm that because those are really low taxes.
Well, I know they grieve the taxes, but I don't know.
Okay.
I could shoot somebody a text and find out.
No problem. Mark.
Question.
Sure,
The
go
house
ahead.
had a beach? You said the house had a beach?
Yes, there's a private beach right down the street. Well, technically it's two streets, but yeah. It's a
Can
really
you see the water or no?
You can't see the water from the house, but if you walk down the hill it's like a 2-minute drive, it's a private beach, and there's a docking space, or excuse me, there's mooring rights, and they have spaces for your kayaks if you like kayaking. The cool thing about it is at low tide, you can actually walk right across the water to Northport Beach. That's how close it is. And you can also, if you have a kayak or a boat, you take it right out and around the harbor into Northport Harbor and go right into Whale's Tail. You can dock over there. They bring you a menu and stuff like that. It's a really great town,
What town is this?
Centerport.
Centerport. I thought so. And you also got the bald eagles over there.
Yeah.
The famous bald eagles.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere now. It's crazy. You see them all over the place.
Be in the listing.
Well,
Somebody else said that too, and I thought it was a joke, but it's actually a
It's a
popular.
big draw, I tell you. The bald eagles are huge. Long Island.
I'm gonna grab one picture off the Bald Eagles of Centerport page and throw it on there if that's allowed. What do you think?
Yeah, ask John first.
I was about to say, is that
sure.
okay?
And bald eagles are not a protected class.
They are protected. So,
Hang on a second now. Would it be a violation of fair housing? Because, what about a full head, like a eagle with a full head of hair, be like jealous? I'm not gonna get.
Please move on. Please move on.
Yes. Too much information. Okay. Mark, tell us about your listing just put out this morning.
yes, 3 Maxine Avenue, Plainview, a lovely Pasadena split, immaculate condition, very, very quiet street. You can walk, very close to a lot of shopping and other things. Plainview Bethpage schools. It has, let's see, granite, solar, hardwood, meticulously capped, professionally landscaped. 75 by 100 irregular property, so the backyard is huge. And like John said, it won't last, but don't say it, but it won't last.
So I have taxes listed at 10,096.
These people grieved. I double checked this morning. They grieved every single year, and that is the currently listed taxes. Yes.
Those are true taxes without star.
Those are the true, I looked up exemptions. It said none, which I found weird, but.
Okay, I'm going to
for the
double check
record,
that.
Yeah, you could double check, but I was just on there this morning. That's what it said. I think the school was like 6 and change. The general was like 3 and change. So yeah, those are the numbers. And like
Yeah,
I
that's
said,
kind of crazy for Plainview.
it's kind of crazy, but it's the anomaly. There are also, ones that are way extreme in the other direction. But they are scheduled, with the 5-year phase in, if people check, if you're familiar with that in Nassau County. But it's going to take 5 years for them to inch up a little.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, we have another traditional listing, which is quite unusual. Frank Abizadeh came back to the roster to list it. It's a 3-family and a single family on the same deed. So 4 families, 17 rooms, 10 bedrooms, 5 baths, right in Astoria, not far from the park, and listed at $2.75 million.
Wow.
So taxes, $8,600.
Oh, right.
So get your investors on the phone and see if anybody wants to take a piece of Astoria.
John, what's the net income?
Something, I have it right here. Quite significant. They have garages that got rented out. So the net income is $109,500 a year. Oh no, that's the income. The rent roll is $9,125 a month.
So the cap is about 5?
I'd have to figure that out.
You're breaking up, John.
Am I?
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Now,
Yeah.
when you turn your head, it was all breaking up.
Okay. I don't know. This headset is very funky.
John, what's the return on investment?
I was just thinking it was 5.
Yeah, I have to check. 5 sounds too low, but I'm going to do the numbers. It's certainly something, considering the market and considering how rare 3-family houses are on the market and how low the taxes are. This is certainly a good place to park money. So I will get the number on that, and you can always call Frank to get more information about the property.
What's the address, please?
The address is 3554 10th Street in Astoria.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, and then we have two REO listings. One is 72 Roosevelt Avenue in Freeport, a Colonial listed at 340, and Co-op in Forest Hills, 110 2070 First Road, listed at, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, listed at 436 500. So that's the inventory story. And
John,
yes.
are either of those occupied?
No,
They're vacant.
vacant. Both of them are vacant.
Okay, great.
Excellent. Okay. Any other, Beatrice, you want to tell us about your listing coming?
Yes, it's in Freeport, 569. It's in a really nice area. It's northwest, so you don't need flood insurance. It's like it's 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, full baths. Had a full finished basement, separate entrance. What else I can tell you about the house? Huge living room. You guys can see in the pictures. Looks pretty good. The kitchen will need a little bit of love, because it's the original, but the second floor has a big bathroom with tap, jacuzzi and stuff like that. Of course, it's gonna need a little bit of work, but it's a pretty house. So anybody who is interested, yes, call me, and I'm definitely getting inside anytime because I'm close to my house. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, just keep those listings coming. We cannot have too many listings. Anybody else have a listing coming they want to talk about? Okay, Angel.
I have next week, I'm waiting for the photographer, a 3,500 square foot colonial on a hilltop on an 1.5 acres of land in Port Jefferson, Harbor Hills.
Nice.
Beautiful home.
Angel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's up on a hill. It's private, serene, and it's like another world because it's literally up in the trees. It's very high.
And we're selling an extra lot with it, right?
They're selling the 2 lots together. It's an 1.5 acres.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And our list
Medium
price
price?
is going to be?
1.299.
Okay,
That's good.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, keep my fingers crossed that it sells.
Oh,
Gonna
it'll sell.
sell.
Beatrice is going to sell it for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. I need money. I need to go to another. I need to go to another winery.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments, suggestions, or questions about listings? Okay, so
Don,
one announce, yeah,
do not call Don.
do not call is still June 25th.
June 25th. Thank you.
My God.
Yeah, yeah, ridiculous. Beyond the beyond now. I'm ready on June 26th to go out protest. Anybody want to go up to Albany and knock on Como's door?
I do.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's
God.
kind of silly now. I mean, you got catering halls with 300 people in them, and we can't call somebody on the phone. I don't know what the logic is, but somebody doesn't like us. So we shouldn't vote for him next time. Okay. Here's a comment from was on your desk updates. I hope everybody is logged into desk, Coldwell Banker Desk, and are getting the daily updates. But they announced the luxury certification course to be fully a member of their luxury division, you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. you need to take this course, and you need to register by June 7th. So this is the 3rd, got 4 more days to register and take a look at that course for luxury certification. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to mention is I was at a training yesterday, graciously hosted by Quentin, and it was a very good training by an appraiser. And I thought he made some points that I want to share with you about, number one, preparing for the appraisal, but also if you get to the point where you need to contest the appraisal. So the first thing to look at is make sure that you have a list of updates for the house. When the roof was updated, when the HVAC was updated, when the kitchen was updated, when the baths are updated. This can make a difference in terms of the valuation of the house. When you're ordering the appraisal, look at pending sales in the area. So if something's under contract and it's about to close in 2 or 3 weeks, you might want to hold off on the appraisal until it closes if you can. Normally, in the normal market, we would want to get the appraisal done as quickly as possible. In this market, as long as there's no rush on the buyer or the seller side, we might want to get the appraisal a little later, so we let more comps come in that might support the value that we got.
Can I say something real quick on that, John?
Absolutely.
We just had somebody come in short. It was actually a refinance on a renovation, but the story is the same. They used comps from October for this particular transaction for when it happened. They ended up having to switch from one loan type to another loan type that had a higher loan to value. 3 months later, the property had appraised instead of 505, it was 585.
Yeah.
3 months. And the 585 meant that they could go back to the original loan. But those,
Right.
I mean, it was 3 months, but it was just a new set of comps. Sometimes waiting for a couple of comps makes a huge difference.
Yes, absolutely. The other thing was interesting, he said about multiple offers. In a normal market, multiple offers are really important because it explains why you got more than anybody else. In this market, almost everybody's getting multiple offers. So the thing to look for is a house in the neighborhood that didn't sell or hasn't sold yet or hasn't gotten multiple offers. If you can point out a comp in the neighborhood that's active, that is similar to this house and doesn't have offers, and you have multiple offers, that will get the appraiser thinking about, why is this house going for higher? Maybe there's something here I missed. So this is something we need to deal with on every listing now. And we have to get better at it. It's not something we're used to dealing with because we normally are in a stable market and we're not getting 30 to 40% of our listings not coming in at appraised value. But if you have a listing, the most important thing to do is understand you prepare for the appraisal at the listing appointment. If you're not speaking to the homeowners about the market and about appraisals when you list it, you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball. And one of the things we want to instruct our seller clients about is not all offers make sense. If somebody tries to win the bid with an unusual offer that we know is not going to appraise, we have to caution our homeowner. Let's look for the solid offer. And then the other thing is when you start getting offers, as agents give you offers, the first question you should ask them is, what did you talk to your buyers about in terms of the appraisal? And what are they willing to do if the appraisal doesn't come in? And some buyers will say, we'll go up as far as the appraisal. Some buyers will say, we will go 10,000 over appraisal. Some buyers say, we don't care about the appraisal, we're waiving the appraisal. When somebody says that, you want to talk to their mortgage person and their lawyer before you accept their offer. What they say to get an offer and what they're going to end up doing when the contract comes out are two very different things. Do not get caught. This happens a lot. And buyers have gone crazy. Absolutely. The numbers that are coming in are bizarre. And the good news is in the next couple of months, we'll have comps for all these things. You know, these things are closing one way or the other because buyers are doing what they need to do. You know, the thing about, you know, closing for cash and then financing, if your buyer has that option, it makes a lot of sense. The problem is, you know, when you refinance, you're going to have to look at what the appraisal is, and you have to make sure that that's what you wanted it to come in so that your monthly payments are where you want them to be. Any questions about this? Okay, let's move on. So we finally have both a listing presentation in PowerPoint and a listing presentation in Moxie Works. I'm going to show you both of them. I'm going to show you the difference between the two. So let me share my screen. Okay, so this is our listing presentation. It's filled in with Mike Litzner's information. You obviously go in and change it and put in your information. And then it goes to why you need a real estate professional, why Coldwell Banker, something about the agent, maximizing curb appeal, interior appeal, successful showings in open houses. Oh, this is the pre-listing one. This is a pre-listing presentation that you would give to your sellers before you got there. I want to go to the listing presentation itself. There we go. Again, this is in PowerPoint, and this has Tom Murtaugh's information on there, but you go in and you put yourself there. There's your consultation agenda, major steps in the sales process, proven, powerful, personal. Coldwell Banker, look at Century 21, look at Coldwell Banker. We've upgraded.
John, it's not showing up on the screen.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I don't know why. Let me just close this out and try to share again. We got it now? Oops, that's the wrong one, of course. I got to close that one.
Does anybody else get kicked out when he does that? I go to a blank screen.
Yeah, that's okay. The blank screen is okay. As long as the screen comes back, you're good.
Okay.
Okay, let's see if this works. Everybody got it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the listing presentation. There's the difference between Coldwell and Century 21. Global network that Coldwell has, a little smaller than Century 21. Virtual world, social engagement, strength in numbers, that's our company, 1,400 plus agents, 24 office, sales volume, 3 billion, closed units, 5,500. Here's the internet marketing advantage. These are the main websites that your listings end up on. And then this is a thing about buyers, social media, AdWorks. Buyer profile is a very interesting thing if you haven't looked at it in Desk. For any particular address, it will show you where the most likely buyers are coming from. This is pretty cool. About our full marketing, our rapid response. Your lead router now goes right into DeltaNet. And what we're doing with our email addresses, comparative market analysis, position to sell your home, pricing is right, first impressions, staging to sell, bringing more buyers, Heart of American Homes, and getting started. I don't know how many people have looked at it before, but comparing it to what we've had in the past, I believe it is the best listing presentation that we've had. And really happy that we're finally there now with that. Any questions about that? Okay, so this listing presentation that I just showed you is on the company intranet. When you go to Delta and you click on company intranet and you go to your intranet and you go to your documents and under PowerPoint. One little trick that I found out the hard way is if the CBAM Homes email is not your main email, it's not the main way you log into Google, when you go to intranet, it will not show up. You need to go to the top right corner and change accounts to the CBAM Homes account, and then your intranet will show up. It is linked to your CBAM Homes email. Any questions about that? Because that's something that's come up in the past, and it's a little bit tricky when you have multiple Google accounts. So for me, my CBAM Homes account is not my main account because that's not what I started with. Okay, now let's go to Desk, and let's talk about Moxie. So here's Desk. Hopefully all of you received the email from corporate with your login and your password. Remember, your login is not at CBAM Homes. Your login is at coldwellbanker.com. It's usually your first name, a period, and your last name at coldwellbanker.com. Okay, so we have all these tiles here. Just so you know, the tiles can be moved around. I put the top tiles that I want on top just to make it easier. But there's not much here that you're not going to find in Delta. But Moxie is one of the things that's basically replacing your CMA toolkit. So when we go into Moxie, Any existing presentations will first show up, and then you will create a new presentation, and you have a buyer, a seller, a buyer tour, a non-listing. We're talking about seller, which is the equivalent of the PowerPoint that we just showed you. And you see, we have the American Homes listing presentation, the same one you saw in PowerPoint, also in Moxie works. And if we go here and we pick Coldwell Banker templates, we have other templates besides that you can use, one of which is a CMA only one, CMA pages only, and then your global luxury presentation and your CBA sellers presentation, either horizontal or vertical. Most of the times you're going to use your brokerage template, you're going to use the American Homes one, and then you're going to put in whoever you're making this for, and you hit create. And now you can go in and put in your target home, the home you're listing. If you have an old MLS, you can put it in there and it will fill it in. And then when you go back beyond that, it starts looking for comps for you. So let's do one of our recent listings. What is this? Okay, so this pulls up our new Jefferson Street. Gives all the information that's in the MLS. And then we hit continue. And it immediately starts looking by location for comps. And then we can pick the best comps for that. Okay, we can pick as many comps, or we can add comps from MLS numbers if we want. Then we're going to hit continue on the bottom. And it's going to give you your comps. And then you hit continue again. And that's your estimated pricing. And you can adjust these things, create a range. And now your presentation is ready. And you can decide to add pages or delete pages as you like. Right now, it's a 37-page presentation.
Okay, thank you.
And when we're done, we can go to view it on the web or as a PDF, or we can send it to ourselves or somebody else. So let's look this on the web. I know we had a training on this. I know the lady talked a little quick. One of the things I recommend strongly is that you go in and you play with it and see how it works. You can customize your listing presentation either in PowerPoint or in Moxie, does it really make a difference? I find that Moxie is really good at finding the comps, much better than what Toolkit used to do. I used to go and look in MLS to pull the comps for Toolkit. I don't tend to have to do that. I've done it with a couple of listings now in Moxie, and I'm pretty impressed with what comes up. So what I recommend is that you all take a look, play with it. You're not going to break it, and see what you like better. It's really not absolutely necessary for you to use Moxie, but if you want to do a good CMA, it's probably the right tool to use. You know, I'm not big on CMA, so that's not it. We do have binders now. You can get your own listing presentation customized with your contact information, and you can either come in or you can send it to me to print up and bind in our nice Coldwell Banker binders. And everybody should have one in their car. First thing I did was print one up and put it in my car. You never want to not be ready for a listing presentation. You know, I used to put the listing paperwork in my car. Now I don't even bother. It's on my phone on Dotloop. Last listing appointment, I did it right on the table from my phone. So always be ready to list. Absolutely, positively, that's where we need to go. Any questions about either of those presentations, or how you're going to use them, or trouble you're having with them? Okay.
Good.
I am available. I'd be happy to do a training. Anybody wants a training done, we'll pop it up on Zoom. We'll invite other people to join us. Just let me know when you're ready for it. Okay, so you might know, or you might forget, we have this Ramsey tool that was a gift for Christmas for our agents, and it was all about managing your personal finances. And we actually went through two different study groups going through the 9 videos in Ramsey. But out of that came a suggestion from Bill Jacobs that we do another study group on Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. So I am in the process of creating the syllabus for that study group. I think we're going to make it a 7-week group, meeting once a week for an hour. We'll probably start it after July 4th. I still need some time to finish up. And I'm recommending that anybody who is familiar with the book, wants to be part of the study group, wants to input into the curriculum of the group, I'd be very happy for your input. So if you haven't read it in a while, I think I send everybody a copy. It's in public domain. It's a PDF. I can certainly share it with you. If you'd like that, you let me know, and I'd be happy to do that.
What's the name?
Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
It was published in 1937. So I'm going to give you a little preview because I was so impressed when I started rereading this on how important it is to be a successful agent, to set your mind in the right direction. And, you know, this is the grandfather of all self-help, financial riches books, all the people after him, you know, all the great speakers, the Tony Robbinses, They all start with Napoleon Hill. And though the language is a little bit stilted because it's almost 100 years old, the thoughts are quite amazing. So 78 years ago, a journalist studied 500 rich men and boiled down their success into 13 steps. There is no mention of money, wealth, finances, or stocks within the text. He takes a different approach, focusing on breaking down the psychological barriers that prevent many of us from attaining our own fortunes. And I should say, fortunes doesn't necessarily mean money. You know, the riches you could be looking for is something in your personal life with your family. Could be something in your personal life with your health. This is a formula for success. And it starts with desire. Wishing will not bring you riches, but desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession, and then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches and backing those plans with persistence, which does not recognize failure, will bring riches. Now, if you could just take that paragraph and tattoo it on your hand and read it every day, that would be a great start to changing your mindset to get really what you want in life. Most of us start halfway. You know, there's an interesting story in the book about a great general who's invading another land, and he comes over in boats, and the first thing he does is burn the boats. And he says to his troops, the only way we're going to get out alive is to win. There's no other way. Most of us do not take that approach to our life. But sometimes if we want something enough, maybe it's time to burn the boats and not look back. And the other items in the 13 items are faith, affirmations, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, the power of the mastermind, the mystery of sex transmutation, choosing a compatible partner. It goes back to the old saying, behind every great man is a great woman. And certainly a compatible partner that understands your goals is important. The subconscious mind, the brain, the sixth sense, trust your gut. So we're going to break down these 14 chapters and 13 secrets into a 7-week course that I hope we can do in an hour at a time. Again, I would love for you to be a part of the planning of it. If you have some suggestions after you've read the book, maybe you've read the book multiple times as I have. I just started reading it again to prepare the course. It's probably the 3rd or 4th time I've read it, and it never gets old. It never gets old. So I'm recommending very strongly, whether you decide to join our mastermind study group or not, that you give the book a chance, because I think it's certainly worth the time. It's a pretty quick read. It is not a long book. And there's some very interesting stories in there on the effects of how this works. So that's what we're going to be doing. And hopefully I will be setting a date at our next sales meeting. So our next sales meeting is in 3 weeks on June 24th, because in 2 weeks, I will be in Cape Cod for my first vacation since September 2019. And I am very looking forward to the week away. I will get people to back me up so that if you have questions, you'll have somebody to call. I'll set that up next week before I leave. I'll be away Monday, June 14th to Sunday, June 20th, which is Father's Day. And then I'll be in the office on the 21st. So we will not have a meeting in 2 weeks. We will have a meeting in 3 weeks and then every 2 weeks after that. Okay, are there any other questions, suggestions, comments? We're all good?
Can I just